Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the Star Wars Black Series The Empire Strikes Back 40th Anniversary carded figure, which is to look like the original Kenner style carded figures from back in the day. Now, 2 years ago I did a review of the original 40th Anniversary Star Wars one with Darth Vader. Now I'm doing the one from The Empire Strikes Back, and as you can see, it is the same similar type of carded figures as you have. You have the Darth Vader figure right here with the new look to it. You notice that it's $25 or $24.99. I paid for this at my local comic shop. They had it, and I decided to pick it up. I did have the original all wave ordered, but I decided to support my comic shop and also wanted to pick this extra one up so I can open and review and look at it and have on the shelf. And as you can see, here's the carded style version of it. And on the back, you have all the other figures that are going to be involved in this wave for the 40th anniversary. We have Boba Fett, the Imperial Snow Trooper from Hoth, Chewbacca, Luke Dagobah single carded, and Darth Vader. And of course, all of these are somewhat reused already. We already had Chewbacca. Luke Dagobah is actually a brand new one, but that came out originally with Yoda, but it's still new and carded. And that's what we have. And we have all of the design back here, and we have all the information back here, which is pretty cool. So if we look at it right here in the front, it's really cool. I just like the way it looks. However, there was something about this that bugged me, and it was this image, and it's because I like to collect the card backs. And as you can see, this is the one from 2 years ago for the 40th anniversary of Star Wars, and it's the exact same image. Hasbro reused the same image from 2 years ago to create this card back, which I have to say really sucks. I mean, that's the only thing I'm probably right now I'm not happy with, is the fact that they reused the same images, because this is the image of Darth Vader from A New Hope, and this is not the same and this is the image from that movie. This is not the image from Empire Strikes Back. I wish they did update that, and because you can tell with the fact that his shoulder armor is covered and the figure here shows that it's not covered. So that is one of the unfortunate things that they did, which I wish they didn't do. That makes sense. Anyhow, I just want to give you guys a look at that, and now I'm going to open this guy up and see how he looks. And like I mentioned before, I like to keep the card backs. It's just really nice to have these around, just because I don't want to trash all of this. I'm just going to take out all the plastic of it and then just keep this on the side for my collection. This is really tricky. Okay, let's see. I think I got most of it. Yep, there it is, out of the packaging, and I'm going to save this on the side. And here's Darth Vader outside of this packaging, and I gotta tell you, Hasbro is improving every year, or as time goes by. They're improving their methods of how their figures are done, because there's a lot of new technology involved in this. They did reuse a lot of stuff from the old figure, but the fact that they're retooling things and fixing things just makes this figure even better. Now, first off of bat, you can tell that it's different because of the chest armor is different compared from the first figure. And I gotta tell you that their improvement on the soft cloth material is actually really good. I mean, it's easier to drape sometimes if you just do it right. I'm still not happy with the inner tunic, because it just feels like it's too much fabric everywhere that it just sponges out. But the actual cloak or cape is really nice. It drapes really nicely on the side, as you can see. And like up close, let's look at it. Up close, one of the things that are different is the helmet. The helmet design is different from the original 40th anniversary figure. Now, right here, you can also tell that the lenses on here are actually more of a black. It's very unfortunate that it's not glossy black, because it doesn't look like lenses, it just looks like black plastic, which is really unfortunate. Another thing that they could have done, which would have been nice, is that if they glossed up the helmet, because that would give it a much more cleaner shine to it. Because after the first film, Lucasfilm had more money, so they can create these designs better and much more improvements. So one of the things they did do was make his whole overall suit more shiny, which is not really reflected upon this figure. But it is, again, a $20 or $25 figure, and it's not necessarily in their budget probably to make it, but a little bit more effort would have been appreciated. Now, one of the things that's really cool is that if you look here, underneath we have a much bigger opening vent here, and that was created for David Prowse because he was having difficulty breathing into the mask, so the vent was created bigger for the Empire Strikes Back helmet, and it's really great that they did that. I mean, the overall look of it looks really nice. And they still kept the silver black tone on the helmet, and like I said, it's not glossy, which really is one of the things that bugs me. But if they done it much glossier overall, it would have been so much better. Here we have the chest armor, which is a little bit different, which is now above the tunic, so you can see the armor that he has. And now the shoulder pads, or the shoulder armor here, is black compared to the original 40th anniversary, which was also in the same scheme of gunmetal and black. But it's really nice. Unfortunately, this side is very glossy, which is nice, which is what you really want, and this side isn't as glossy. It's a little bit more semi-gloss. Here we go into the chest armor, or at least the chest box, and the chest box is now completely different. I have a bit of this unfortunately figure has a bit of a paint on the side, and that sucks. That's something I'm gonna have to fix, which I shouldn't have to. But the chest armor here is now different because now it's a little bit smaller and much more defined. And if you look real close, I don't think you can tell on the camera, but there is some Arabic writing on the chest box, where you usually see a lot of the differences in this chest box with the new one, with the old one. Now the belt is a little bit, I think it looks a little different or new, but now it looks like there's a little bit more glossiness into the actual crotch piece here, which is kind of cool. Nothing much different other than, oh, the gloves are different. They look a little bit different in design. And the legs look the same. There's nothing different with the legs at all. But, I mean, it's going to be hard to tell. But I think the legs are pretty much the same compared to everything else above them is different. And I will tell you that once we get into the articulation. Now, before we move on to the articulation, let's look at the lightsaber itself, which is the only accessory that comes with it. And it's pretty nice. It's the same similar design. I think it's a little different. But to be sure, here I have the lightsaber from the 40th anniversary. And there is a difference within the part of the emitter, whereas the new version is longer and the old version is shorter. And for some reason, I feel like this one is the should have been similar to what the 40th anniversary should have been like, and this one should have been the Empire Strikes Back. So in other words, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, but this is reversed when they made them, so it's not too bad. The lightsaber on the new one, though, the blade is a little shorter compared to the old one. But as you can see, not too much of a difference, but the design elements are the same and they're pretty good, and yeah, not bad. Now let's take a look at the articulation on this guy, and I gotta tell you, there is a lot of new improvements. Now, one of the most notable improvements is what's in the head, because now the head is able to have a much higher look. It has like a double dumbbell or something, because it's able to move a lot better. And the reason for that is because, let me pop this out. The neck peg is different because it's movable here. Let me take this off for a moment for the time being, and we'll look at how C that is. It has a lot more movement there, and so this plugs in into there. And once the neck and the head are connected, you have a lot more of a shifting motion in the head, which gives it a lot more range overall compared to what the original New Hope version was. Before, it would just turn and move up and down a bit, but here you have a lot more range, which is really nice. Now, looking into the body, or the upper torso, we first can start with the shoulder area, where you can see that it was at a lot more of a butterfly joint was added in here. So now when you can lift this up, you can shift it back and forth a bit. So that can give you a better range when you try to move it forward into dueling position. It's a little bit hard, but you can get it in there. It's probably just a little, so you can see how farther back it goes, farther in. And as you can see there, it can go up only that far. And there was more engineering added to the elbow area, which has a much deeper cut here, which allows the hand to go a lot more further, which is actually really cool, because this allows him to actually hold the lightsaber in a much better position if he needs to. So that actually helps with positioning him in much more dynamic poses. You have the same diaphragm type of joint up here, or that's actually to the waist area, so it just moves about a bit. And the legs are something similar. They spread out pretty nicely. They move forward, then the back not so much, and they have double jointed knee, which is pretty fine. And it has the same ankle pivot. So like I said, the portion from the waist below is the same, whereas the new portions upward is new. And of course I forgot to mention the hinges on the hands are similar to what they were before, so not too much of a difference at all. Alright, so now let's do some comparisons from other figures, and let's start off first with the first 40th anniversary of Darth Vader from 2 years ago. And I actually have a brand new custom cape on this guy, or custom soft goods. So this is not the original soft goods that came with it, but you can see next to them how different they do look. He's a little bit shorter, I believe, in terms of what this what it looks like here, but the design's elements are somewhat the same. The helmet is different compared to what this helmet looks like, and of course the movement is a lot more improved on the new Empire Strikes Back figure. And right next to this one, I'm going to put the Bandai Model Kits Darth Vader, and this one was the one that I was using for my display for the Empire Strikes Back version next to my Emperor Palpatine, but now I believe this one's going to take over. However, I do have, originally this came with a much more harder cape system, but I ended up also taking that off and putting in a soft goods cape, which looks a lot bit better. But this was actually, this one, for some reason I feel like the helmet looks a little bit better because it's much more shinier. But next to each other, I feel like this one just looks way more better accurately. And all I gotta do now is pretty much change the capes on this guy, or the soft goods on this guy, and maybe do some repaints on the chest armor and the helmet. But other than that, that looks really cool. Alright, let's get those out of the way. Let's put some other figures from the Empire Strikes Back line. Here we have Luke Skywalker standing next to him. The pose. Over here we have Han Solo. As you can see, height-wise, they all pretty much match up to what they were originally are from their from the original lines, or at least from the original actors' heights. It's not too bad. And last but not least, one of my favorites, it's the Bandai Model Kits Boba Fett, which is really great. I think those two together are one of the most important characters in The Empire Strikes Back. And I have to tell you, the model kit is really great. If you find it, it's usually at Target now. It does involve a lot more painting to make it look more weathered, but I think it's worth it just for the heck of it. And building something like this is like, it's fun. Why not? Either way, that's just the way those two look. Alright everyone, that's my review of the Darth Vader 40th Anniversary Empire Strikes Back from the Star Wars Black Series figures. And I gotta tell you, I am happy with the figure. I highly recommend finding it. If you don't want to get the carded version, you can always find it on the regular release ones with the new design boxes. But I highly recommend finding this guy. He's going to be one of those guys that you would just want in your collection. And yeah, I mean, come on. It's Darth Vader, guys. Because like I said, the improvement overall is the fact that the cloth cape is a lot more better. The upper torso is all fixed, and the helmet is a much more improvement. So it's really good. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing the next 2 years or 3 years when we see the 40th anniversary of the Jedi, and I'm pretty sure with their print technology, this is going to look a lot better with the new unhelmeted version if they come out with that. But overall, I say this is great. So thanks a lot, guys, for checking this video out. If you liked it, please press the like button, subscribe, and if you have any comments, put it in the video below. And yeah, take care and be safe, and may the Force be with you.